Thanks for that. Well, we've talked a lot about cardiac arrest over the past couple of weeks, specifically with Damar Hamlin. His collapse on the field 2 weeks ago was definitely a shining light kind of on this topic. And it is important to know how to respond in those incidents. So here to talk a little bit more about that is Cheryl Smith with CPR Choice. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
For those who don't know, tell us what CPR Choice is and a little bit about your background.
So we're a CPR and first aid training center. We offer CPR classes to individuals at our office here in Knoxville. And then we also do on-site training for businesses. And there's an array of different types of businesses from manufacturing, construction to medical that will actually come to their facility and do training there.
Great. And so tell us a little bit about what people should know about cardiac arrest. There's some misconceptions out there. Let's maybe start with those. Maybe the differences between that and a heart attack.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people think that they're the same thing, and they really are different. A heart attack is really a plumbing problem where we actually have blockages in the vessels in our body, where cardiac arrest actually is an electrical problem where we have an interruption in the electrical impulses in our heart. So there are quite a few warning signs for heart attack. There's not as many warning signs for a cardiac arrest as it usually comes on suddenly.
Yeah, but it is the #1 killer in the country.
It is.
Talk about that statistic. I mean, that's crazy to kind of wrap my head around. I can't believe that, honestly.
It is. With the Damar Hamlin incident, we've talked a lot about it, and it's funny, like, you don't see these happening on TV, very often,
Right.
but they are happening every single minute.
Yeah, and so every minute that goes by, I mean, time is of the essence here.
Absolutely.
Maybe talk a little bit about how important it is to respond right away.
Yes, every minute that goes by, a victim's chance of survival decreases by about 10%. So really those first 10 minutes are so critical. We have got to start immediate CPR, and if we can get an AED there, that is really going to help skyrocket the person's chance of survival.
So talk about what an AED is and how people can utilize it.
Yeah, AED is an automated external defibrillator, and it is what we actually put on the victim when there is a cardiac arrest, and it tells us if they have a shockable rhythm, if they have an abnormal heart rhythm, and it can help restore that rhythm. So we're seeing them in more public access places like malls and airports and churches and gyms and schools, but the more that we can put out there, the better.
That's great. And so when you're thinking about CPR, the very first step you've said is to call 911, right? And then you get into actually performing it. So you're going to give us a short demonstration, if you would, please.
Sure.
I've actually never done this before, so I'm excited to watch. So whenever you want, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, so like you said, the very first thing we want to do is always activate EMS, call 911, get somebody to get an AED, and then we're going to step right into action. We're going to just make sure that the person actually is unresponsive and just quickly look down the plane of the chest and make sure that they're not breathing, there's no movement or signs of life. Then we're going to place the heel of our hand on that lower portion of the sternum, interlace our fingers, keep our elbows straight, and we're going to push directly straight down. And we want to push down at least 2 inches.
Okay.
And we need to push at a tempo of a minimum of 100 compressions a minute.
Boy, how,
It's quick.
for the average person, is there a way, a helpful trick to kind of remember that?
So they say that the tempo of Rocky Top is 120 compressions.
Okay.
So for you Vols fans, that's an easy one.
There you
Or
go.
the tempo of Staying Alive is 100 beats per minute. So
Okay.
somewhere in that range is a great tempo.
Wonderful. And if someone is interested in learning more about CPR, how to actually perform it, they can reach out to you directly. Is that right?
Yes, for sure. They can visit our website, cprchoice.com, or they can give us a call. We will be doing some free community training in February to raise awareness for American Heart Month as well. So stay tuned for that information.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on, Cheryl. Again, this is Cheryl Smith with CPR Choice, really talking about the importance about knowing how to respond in the event of cardiac arrest. We're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we'll be back right after this.